6:30 for me, evening.
6:30 in the evening. Okay. Sunday evening, 6:30 in your computers. Hope your family is not saying anything about it.
Yeah, they're okay.
Good to see you, Arun, after a long time.
Yes, sir. So
Great.
how is Shriram?
Good. Good. I know the team is joining. As team joining, we'll just slowly kickstart. As this is a weekly program. What we do, we share knowledge in agile management because agile is being the trend in the market. Most of them want to know, hey, what is this agile all about? So
Yeah.
we're trying to help people with a little bit of information. Of course, we can't dump everything on a one shot. So we'll try to give a small packet of information then and there on a weekly basis where you can get it. And also we have a YouTube channel where you can listen to this programs which is happening on a weekly basis. So
Okay.
we talk about agile and we'll talk about little on the certification side also. Kindly you can get to the mute mode if you're not speaking up so that we can arrest the background sound. Thanks for doing that. And today we have a topic to talk about in agile specifically. And we'll also get into certification, which we called as ACP, Agile Certified Practitioner, and we'll talk about scaled agile. I know there are a lot of certificates in the market. People sometimes get confused. Oh my God, Shriram, which one to go? So if you ask me which one to go, I would tell go to all because I'm the guy who holds a few certificates which is helping me in a different form. I will not tell that one certificate will make you a better person in life. Okay, that adds. Beyond that, you have to keep on topping on that. But still, certain certificates has good depth information and value. So that we have to understand on that criteria or on that angle. I always respect something comes out of from PMI. PMI stands for Project Management Institute. The content will be very depth and also the coverage will be so broad, covering multiple industries, and also the exam validity will be very high because they maintain a standard, right? So I always tell that in a corporate, you should have some standard. If somebody getting a position, that should have a standard. When a person goes and sit in that position, they should feel, yes, I got with good, what is say, abilities, right? That feel should come. There's something like that. I always feel PMI is good. The same equivalent now I'm feeling with scaled agile community. That is a scaled agile is a one which talks how we can scale bigger teams, which talks about agile. And they too are maintaining a good quality in the subject content, which is also very much open. Anybody can go and read in the websites. And exams also having its validity. They can see that. So I'm respecting these two institutes very well, and I follow them consistently. Keep reading their books, reading their articles, reading their industry experience, watching the videos of how the project is used with this particular concepts. It's not only book knowledge, right? When you read the books, people feel that, oh my goodness, you're a theoretical guy. So you have to use it. You have to get to that. That gives an energy when you speak up with a more number of people. So the intention here, taking this kind of classes is to make you all feel comfortable with the subject, where I want to try small chapters. Don't want to go deep. I want to try something small, which can help you to understand the concepts. So that's the intention. With this, shall we get in? If you are good there. Let me bring up the screen. I should bring up the screen. Yes, it is. Okay. The screen should be visible. If you get a screen, look, just tell me yes, one or two people, so that I get a confirmation. Okay, you are able to see the screen. Fantastic. Thanks, Mahindra. Thanks for confirming. Thanks. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Okay, that's we are with the ShriLearning, where we try to help people on some of the courses in project management, including PMP, PMI-ACP, and Scaled Agile. In fact, some of the students from college come over, they go for a CAPM, and the people who are less than 3 years of experience, but still they want to go for management studies, they go for CAPM, right? Associate in Project Management. That's a entry level. That is the people who want to go for the PMP. First they complete CAPM, then go to PMP. Always there is a confusion in the market. Hey, which one to go? Is it PMP, ACP, SAFE? My manager says SAFE is not good. My manager says PMP is good. My manager says PMP is not good, old, outdated. I would always tell that think which is good for you. I don't think you go and ask your manager which t-shirt to wear. Right? You know which shoulder size yours, what color fits for you, you wear it, right? I don't think you ask it. When that's the case, for your life growth, you should look at which will be good for you. Of course, you can get the opinion, but the final decision should be yours. How do you do that? For that, you have to get knowledge. How do you get the knowledge? Read from the websites. Other than that, yes, listening to this kind of sessions, chances are that you may get one or two tips about how to do this. Right. With that, let's move. Let me take to some more information. Okay, today, under the umbrella of Agile, first of all, Agile is a mindset, Agile is a concept, Agile is not a technology, Agile is not a tool. Many think Agile could be a technology, Agile could be a tool which you can download from Google Play Store. No, Agile is a concept, it's a mindset which came in 2001 from 17 well-equipped IT guys who felt that, hey, why don't we do um, the adaptive nature or knowledge-based projects like software in a very lightweight manner rather doing which is heavyweight like traditional way. Nothing wrong in a traditional way, but it is good for heavyweights, right? You do for big projects and also which is in a predictive nature. You know what you're going to do. If that's the case, it sounds really good. But when you're not doing that way and you want to do in an adaptive nature, where the things keep changing on continuously, then they need a little change, the way of looking. And that's where the concept of Agile came in. But when I read the books of Agile, most of the time I come back to the same point, customer centricity, or they give a point, how good you can help the customer to get satisfied. And this is a major point which keep focused on most of the Agile stuff. But this being derived by some of the groups or methods, which we call as Scrum, Kanban, XP, and few more methods are there. And these are the methods which has the essence of Agile and we implement in our day-to-day life. And many of us would have thought that Scrum is Agile. Yeah, it is. It's following the Agile principles, but it's itself a method. That's it. And Kanban, it's there for 100 years and so, but it follows the principle of what Agile says. And XP, extreme programming, trust-driven development, and few more out there. The point here is Agile is one of the mindset. Anybody can derive it and you can write your own process or method. Today we have scaled Agile framework. In another 5 years, someone will come in the market. They can also derive the same principles and write it. So the principles are same. Underlying, they derive and start writing the things. In that, the two certificates are so much famous in the market. One goes with PMI-ACP, what you see on the screen. PMI-ACP stands for Project Management Institute, Agile Certified Practitioner. And here, what's the beauty? Many ask the question, hey, what's the difference between ACP and Scrum? So ACP talks about Agile Certified Practitioner, where it talks a whole umbrella of Agile. What are the four manifestos, principles, methods underlying that, and how do you use it? This is all being explained. When you go for Scrum certification, under the umbrella of Agile, one of the method is Scrum. How the Scrum works, that will be explained, right? That's why the exam intensity and the value differs. ACP has the highest value when you want to go for Agile leadership, and Agile coaching, being Agile leader, those patterns it will work out. When you want to play at the team level, a Scrum Master or a team role, dev team or quality, business analyst, you want to play a role within the team where you can go for CSM. But still some people do for other areas also, but still it has its own value, that level, right? So in ACP, today I'm going to talk something called stakeholder engagement. It's a very interesting topic, as most of you would know what is stakeholders. And again, in Agile, we have to see how this is being acquired or how it's being done. When I do that, I want to go to the next topic, which is called scaled Agile. Hey, what is a scaled Agile, man? It's a new concept? Yes, a little bit. But again, it's a combination of all what we have learned so many years. They put everything under the Agile umbrella, Scrum, Kanban, they put extreme programming, they put DevOps, they put all the best things in the world and make a good framework out of it. And they have good synchronization. They have something called Agile release train. Train? Ooh, no bus there? No. So far, there's no bus, we have only train. So train is so interesting, how they combine the compartments, how they move. This is being explained. Okay, fantastic. With this, let's get inside. I'll try to expand the concepts in a better way. Let's go. Okay, last weeks we spoke about something called value-driven delivery. And this week we're going to cover something on stakeholder engagement. Value-driven delivery is one of the biggest chapter, which has a lot of information. And we're going to talk about stakeholder engagement, This is again part of ACP, Agile Certified Practitioner. I would ask you to know about the certificate, but when you listen to classes, just come out of the certificate and listen as a common man who can learn what is in Agile. That's enough. Because certificate is an end goal, but on a travel journey, you have to learn certain things. That is what the goal should be. So with that, let me go to stakeholder engagement and show what it is all about. Okay, as I said, this is one of the chapter. I believe you can see a screen, a pie chart here. In the pie chart, can someone tell me, do you see stakeholder engagement and do you see any percentage number? If you see that, can I know the percentage what you see? Let me check your visibility and skills there. Okay, many are so good and fast. You are able to get 17% there. Fantastic. Okay, one good thing about PMI-ACP or PMI Institute is they always tell the area where the exam question will come. That's so good, right? But but again, the exam level with toughness will be high, but still they'll at least give a clue which area the questions will come. So what they mean by 17% in this pie chart, the pizza piece, what you get is 17% of exam questions will come in this area called stakeholder engagement. So what do you mean by 17%? So if you ask me, ACP exam is of 120 questions exam, which goes for 3 hours duration. So when it is 17%, it should be approximately 20 questions you will get. So stakeholder engagement is going to give 20 questions in the examination if you are going towards the ACP exam. If not, just a knowledge for you, in an Agile project, we spend 17% of the time engaging more with stakeholder understanding purpose. In fact, stakeholder understanding should happen 100%, but 17% has its importance there. So let me talk a little more inside. We'll expand those factors. Here it is, certain key points I pulled out from the books of Agile to tell you what are the key factors to take in consideration for stakeholder engagement. Take care of the stakeholders. Okay, what do you mean by take care? You have to give them health, the food, to supply everything. Maybe need to do it. But again, taking care of stakeholder is the sense how you give focus towards them, how you help them to understand where we are moving. That's very vital. Then talk about establishing a shared vision. I'm going to go topic one by one, but for now the clue is you're going to talk about establishing a shared vision. You're going to have a communicating with stakeholders, working collaboratively, and using critical interpersonal skills. These are the English terms which anybody can read and learn. But this stakeholder engagement is being spoken there for any project model. You go to traditional model or adaptive model, engagement has always been expected. But how do you do in a predictive approach? How do you do in an adaptive approach? It has slight variation, which you have to understand. For example, we say that some of the traditional model, we call it as plan-driven model, where we have all the plans ready. Based on that, the work starts happening. When the plans are ready, the stakeholders interaction may be more concrete. You can be very solid which contractor or vendor to reach, which testing team to work with, which designer will work, which architect will work. You may be from IT, non-IT. If something on a plan driven, it is a little more better. Still it has some confusions there, but still it is better than change driven. In change driven or adaptive approach, the things keep moving on. It's not having the same place. The target keep moving. That's called change driven, right? So in this change driven, the biggest thing is how quickly you can adapt to this change and engage with your stakeholders. For that, you need some strategy. So that's what we're going to see how they do in stakeholder engagement. I don't see there's a 360-degree change, but slight here and there, soft skills related touch will happen in stakeholder engagement. You'll be surprised, Shriram, we don't use any Jira board or Rally or MS Project or Excel sheet. Is not be enough. We do everyday internal chat with our stakeholders. We do communication through Outlook, G Suite. It's not enough. We do video call. It's not enough. Yeah, those all things are good. Beyond that, there are certain soft skills needed to be an agile leader, to be an agile team member, how quickly you can respond or react to certain situations. That's what we're going to see now, right? Let me go to the next level. The next level is something like this. Why the focus on stakeholder engagement? Why? Okay, it's a beautiful question. I like it, right? Why the big focus on stakeholders? Now, what happened is we are working in knowledge-based projects or knowledge work projects. So what is this knowledge work projects? If you watch it here, let me pull out the pen. Okay, if you watch out here, knowledge work projects often have no tangible product, right? So when you have a tangible product, you have something solid to discuss with the stakeholders and you have some kind of good communication happening. When you're working in intangible projects, right? If you go to any IT company, you have hundreds of people sitting and working in an environment. You see them working, but you don't know, you don't feel it or you don't get it, what they are doing. It may be a customer, it may be your company CEO, it can be director or manager, right? It's all about computers. We don't know what's happening. And knowledge work is slightly a little complicated where you don't see the results just evidently there. Of course, we have demonstrations happening, but still you don't get it. So there could be some sort of gap in the way what the customer says and what we understood and what we delivered. This gap is happening for more than 35 years or at least more than 40 years the moment you say Agile came in. Still it's happening. Still it's happening. And they call it as Gulf of Evolution. If you see the image here, you can see something called Gulf of Evolution. If you observe a little more carefully, you will see on the leftmost how the customer explained it, what the customer really needed. I know this is a little crazy. First of all, customer itself not clear what they want. That's a market now. Any product, if you go in knowledge based or adaptive nature, customers don't have a clarity of what they want. They decide in the final minute. How many days we decide, right? We go to a restaurant, we want to buy something or have a food. After ordering something, we call the bearer, hey, can you cancel it? Can you bring this item? Chances are there, we do. But the bearer says, yes, sir, we'll do it because it's a service-oriented industry. 25 years back, if you go to a hotel and order something, and after 10 minutes, if you say, I don't want that, who will pay the bill? My father would have paid the bill because once you ordered. That's it. You can't change it. That was the world, at least some of you seen it. Have anybody seen like that in hotels 25 years back? I know some of people are about 30, 40 here. If you are, definitely would have seen it. It's something like that's how the world was. But the things are moving now. When I say moving, people are looking into how adaptive you can be, how quickly you can change. But at the same time, customers not having clarity. And beyond that, if the team is not also having clarity, we are in trouble. If you watch out here, the second image, how the Scrum Master understood. I don't think we have to go for Scrum Master understanding. We'll call it as product owner or product manager understanding, right? And how do they understand? And how do the team develop it? I know these kind of images you have seen multiple times in Agile programs, but the problem here is why this is happening. Now, why happening goes back to improper stakeholder engagement, right? We engage them properly. We engage them in the initial stage of the project. We engage them in the right time and the right model. This can be resolved. Fine, Shriram, it's so good. You're saying a lot of good things, saying that stakeholder engagement gives results, but how? When we say how, there is certain ways of approaching them. Certain patterns are there. Let's see in Agile world how they do this. By the way, I'm not talking about Scrum. I'm not talking about your stand-up. I'm not talking about Kanban. I'm not talking about XP. I'm not talking about any methods here. I'm talking about a whole as an Agile. This is how the ACP certification talks in a sense of big picture, because this is for Agile leaders who is going for Agile coaching and certification, right? In that, before I go there, probably I'll get an idea through a question. Generally, when you put a question, your brain will start thinking better. So I have a question here. I want you to read this and get an idea. Let me try to explain the concept. Can you give a shot on this question? What they say here of Gulf of Evolution refers here. Okay, Mahendra says D and Priya says D. Okay, Giri goes with the D. Okay, Kundu goes with the D. Okay, let everybody give a shot. Don't feel bad. Even if you go wrong, that's okay. We're just making a attempt to understand things. That's it. Right, right. See the Gulf of Evolution, which I showed the previous picture. What was the customer saying and what was happening in the end? There is a gap of interpretation. The way of understanding has some problem, right? If that's the case, what answer we can go on? Let's look at the answer. Before that, I will look at the answers here. The disparity between what the customer wants and what they really need. Okay. Actually, we cannot tell there is a problem because a customer will come like that. They would come with some thought process. but they will tell something else and they want end of day something else. But I cannot put the blame on the customer. In the name of Gulf of Evolution, I can tell that no man, it's your problem. In between, we have some people, right, which we are, who they are recruited as in a company to do some service on the name of understanding what customer want. Let's take the silk saree stores, which we have in every city. When a woman goes for a silk saree, it will take nearly 2 to 2.5 hours to decide what kind of saree to choose. Average timeline. Okay, some people are saying more than that, but 2.5 hours is solid time. Now, what they say to the vendor is different. What they want is different, right? Now, I cannot tell it's a Gulf of Evolution where it's your problem. In between, we have some set of people you call product owners, the vendor who is supplying and helping with that women, particular saree model, should have a knowledge. You should be able to connect with the people and give the exact model what they're looking for. It can be a car showroom, it can be a food service restaurant, it can be a bookstore, it can be any website. If you go to Amazon site, when you click once, they'll give a lot of other options also. They try to fill that gulf of evolution. How they do that? When I want to tell that, I will go with answers now so that you get a little more clarity. The answer goes with B. I know some of you went with B or with D, you'll be surprised. If you read the B, the mismatch between the customer's vision of the solution and the developer understood it. Okay, the way we understand, it's a gap. It's a gap. By the way, they do have a mistake. I'm not saying customer is so great. They do have a mistake, but that doesn't mean that that creates a problem for the project. To fill that gap of what they say, what they need, we are there. For that reason, we have to understand the stakeholder engagement properly so that we don't put it in the down. Right? That's very vital part. Hope some of you went with the D, agree, B can be an answer. Okay, B can be an answer because you want to understand those factors, right? That's a message. Anyway, through questions, we learn certain factors. Let me take you to the next level. The next level, I want to talk about something called principles of stakeholder engagement. What are these principles all about? The principles talks about certain factors for engaging. Get the right stakeholders. We do the identification of stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders in the project? Cement particular stakeholder involvement. How can involve them? Frequently discuss with the done. I like this point very much. The fourth point. Frequently discuss what done looks like. We need to have proper communication with the stakeholders. Hey, when I complete something and I hand over to you, do you feel comfortable with this particular item? Is this the way you want? That you have to get a confirmation. Sometimes we call it as acceptance criteria. And beyond that, we have to understand, hey, really, this is what you want. Are you going to use the shoes like this? Are you going to use your car like this? Are you going to use your software like this? Hey, this is what you're looking into. Understanding that makes them feel more connected and comfortable, right? That's a very important part. And we have show progress and capabilities regularly, candidly discuss estimates and projections. I believe this is not new concepts what I'm talking here. It's there in any project management, but we have to understand how to do this. Let's go to the how to factor now. Okay, here we go. I'll start with the first one. The first title start with establishing a shared vision. This is very vital to start in Agile project management. First of all, establish a proper shared vision between both parties. To establish a shared vision, there are certain ways of establishing. Just like that, hey Shriram, you go and talk to them, understand them. Yeah, this English word is so good. Talk to them, understand them. But how? Give me some methods. The methods is what definition of done. Understand what do you mean by definition of done or done means for both of us. Right? In Agile world, we always call us a done, right? Are you done? Yeah, when you say done, it should be really working. And in our organization, sometimes we see that people say, Shriram, it's completed. Then I had to ask him, is it ready for the customer to use? No, only testing is pending. Oh, really? Okay. So after testing, what you have to do? Again, I have to go for regression testing. Okay. Then what do you have to do? I have to do a code review. Okay. Then what you have to do? I have to check in the code. Then what made you to say it's called done? No, my work is done. Don't say that way. Done means it should have a meaning which is usable, right? Which is good for the customer. So for that reason, you should understand what is meaning by done by discussing with your customer, right? When you look out on the left side, you see definition of done at the story level, definition of done at the release level, definition of done at final project deliverables. Sometimes teams talks about the story level. At a story level, they say that, hey, it should be developed, documented, acceptance test completed. Well, good. This is being declared with both the party. So whenever I give it 2 weeks of time, That is one iteration to complete a set of story. It means that when the 2 weeks ends, we'll be done with the development, documentation, and acceptance testing. Documentation is a minimal documentation, whatever you need, maybe Jira board or Rally board or Excel sheet. You give a couple of lines what we did. Now that gives a mutual agreement. When you go for a demonstration on the end of second week, you'll have a product owner, you will have a product manager, you'll have a release manager. They'll take a look of it. Hey, this is what we agreed. Yeah, it's meeting our standard. Then they click the button, accept it. Can happen. Now the next level goes on releasing. On release also you have certain sets of done within both the party. If you read the lines, they say that if you watch out this, let me take you to that place. Okay, the first release will be deemed done when the system alpha is replaced. There is no priority one defects. Okay, there is no priority one defects. That's a mark they give as a definition of done. When you say release, yes, there is no particular error for next 2 weeks. We consider as the release is done, right? And when the project is done, they say that it should have been completed. It should replace the previous system, and also the customer satisfaction can go over 70%. They keep a watch for next 2-3 weeks and 1 or 2 months to see if the customer satisfaction is really good. You are replacing a banking software. Let's imagine banking software is that they want to replace it. Okay, we have come with a new solution for it. Now, when we say the product and project deliverables are done, we will say that when the customer satisfaction level goes above 70%, we take a survey. Every time they use a mobile app to make any transaction, we take a survey. You find out, hey, how is your experience? Customer says yes or bad, like what you do in Zoom. Whenever you log into Zoom and log out, it will give a thumbs up, thumbs down. They keep recording it. Their satisfaction level is really high. They will say, yeah, we met it. We can say it's done now. This all very subjective to your project. I'm not saying it's a generalized one. It can be subjective. You can talk to your particular stakeholders and understand, hey, what you're looking into. It can have some specific numbers and parameters also, right? That's important part of starting the establishing shared vision. Here, you both get a common vision, right? I will not come with some mindset, Shriram, I am done. Customer will not tell that, hey, this is not done, man. When I said done, this is meaning. Rather, both of you discuss together and come to a common conclusion. I believe what I'm saying here, you know already. You are doing it already, but you're not stressing it a little hard. When you're in the leadership cadre, when you're in the agile game, I'll tell you, slightly press that button. When your business analyst, when a team talking to you, ask them, are you aware of definition of done? Can you please bring the document, show to me what you mean by that? When you talk to a customer, ask them, hey guys, I'm happy you're doing business with you. By the way, do you have an opportunity to see what we mean by definition of done? And I'll tell you, this will save many number of days and nights which you're going to spend. Because this is not being properly discussed, done, it's going to have a lot of trouble in the project. Because our projects are not predictive nature. Our projects target is keep moving. When the targets keep on moving and you are not set a proper shared vision, you are in trouble. Because target is moving, you are also not properly planned. It will keep on dragging. Then we'll tell that Agile is not working. Actually, Agile will work the way we understand things, right? That's very important. Anybody here done the definition of done in your projects? Before I move to the next one. Okay, some of them saying, let me see chats. Okay, Mahendra says no. So what it mean for others? Others have done definition of done. Giri says no. Okay, okay. So I assume most of you are not done with this concept. Okay. Oh, I thought it's a very old concept. People are aware of it. Okay. But it's a pretty old one, which is there for more than nearly 20 years going to be there now. But again, this is a very important factor to be addressed. If you are not aware of it, I believe you should be aware of it. Talk to your customers to understand what you mean by done when we complete it. And I'm sure this is going to save a lot of time. Now, the second topic on establishing shared vision. So first one, we had a discussion. We understood the done factor. We also have another way of engaging the stakeholders. See, we are on the topic of engaging the stakeholders, right? We're trying to bring collaboration. Whenever I say stakeholder, it could be your team members, your quality person, your architects, your SMEs, customer, product owner, product manager, business owner. These are all called stakeholders. So stakeholders don't think someone alien or someone only your team. It's a mix of stuff, right? Whoever is directly or indirectly impacting or impacted by the project, it's going to be stakeholders, right? So how to involve them? That's very important, right? So when you see involvement, another one is establishing shared vision. We call it agile model or modeling. By looking at the picture, you can easily say that, hey, this we do, man. We go to the whiteboard, start drawing things, right? We do that. I remember at least 15 years back when you do project in another company, whenever a project comes, I had one an architect. She's an amazing, brilliant girl, and what she does is she don't open the computer at all. She will take the marker and start drawing from the corner of the board. I'll tell you, she will redraw at least 100 times before she confirms something. She don't feel bad redrawing it. She will draw something, and we will give some suggestions, opinions, and people say something. She will clean it out. Again, she will start from the beginning. We'll tell why you're starting from the beginning. You can go in the middle itself. She said, no, it's okay. When I start from the beginning, my brain will start thinking something better. I was sometimes felt that what she's doing, man, she's kind of killing the time. But I felt so interesting. Whenever her work comes out, it'll be 100% amazing. People feel, wow, this is what we want. She does that with the team members. She does that with the customers. Those days, 15 years back, talking to the customer and telling them this is a model we're going to propose, it's very rare because many companies will be top-down approach in the sense they decide something, tell the customer, hey, give me the money, give me the time, your work is done. Don't bother, right? We'll give you something. We'll give you something, not what you want. This is a problem happened. But I found that so interesting of agile modeling where you bring your mental picture, your mind map, what it is actually, and make a sketch of it. If you look at this paragraph, I like this line very much. There is a line, the last line, observe it. The value is in the creation. The value is in the creation, not in the preservation. Right? I like it. Because many people go with the fancy tools to create this kind of model, save it as a PDF file, forward to many people. Okay, that's useful. I'm not saying no. But the value comes in the creation. I remember that day, still I remember that conference meeting, which happened 15 years back, because a lot of heated argument will happen there, fight will happen there. People bring out some ideas, some people be challenged. If you give an idea, somebody will challenge, not this way, it will work this way. And that sounds really good, right? That process of working makes you to be so creative. That's what they call in the agile model. It works really well of bringing out your thought process, your brain process. I somehow feel these things are missing these days. We are too much of carried away by the electronic devices. We are directly go to some computer and go with some Excel sheet or Word document or some fancy mind mapping tools. We think that it's working. Yes, it is. But before that, I would recommend few minutes you have to spend on the board. Allow team to speak up and come out to your own thought process. This topic I covered in the previous session on the video session where I say something called low tech, high touch tools. If you've not heard about it, it's called low tech, high touch tools. That is a whiteboard and the marker is called low tech, high touch tools. Most of the agile books recommend use this before you go to the digital content. You'll be surprised. Hey, Shriram, I know agile is for IT industry, but you're taking other way where you're asking not to go to the tools. Yes, the books are saying that tools can be used as a last option, not as a first option. Because first option, you have to allow people to think broader and write on the board, right? Do anybody agree here? We have to go on the board to discuss more than getting to the computers. Do I get any S here for that? Mahindra says yes. Okay. Jay says yes. Okay. Three more. Four S. Oh my goodness. Good. The majority goes here. Strongly agree. Arun says, oh my God. Okay. Fantastic. Good to see. Thanks for the agreement there. And I thought that computers can be faster. Yeah, computer is faster, but my brain is not faster, right? I went for one of the scaled agile implementation in the US, and where we were at a big conference on it. They call us PI planning. And we were doing that process, and some of people are at the computer typing the detail what is happening there. And somebody made an announcement on the mic, guys, can you please put your computer down and take a pen and write the note? I felt, are you going backward? I felt for some time like that. But when you take a pen and start writing, you get a feel that you are connecting with the subject. When you're typing, it will be different. While writing, it will be different. Still, some people are so good. I won't tell bad. Other day, I was taking a project management session in a university. I was taking a project management session for principals in that college or university. There was a principal sitting in front of me. He should be at the age of 50s, and he was taking notes when I'm taking class. What he was doing is he's having a big iPad, the bigger size one, with a pen. But whatever I'm saying is drawing it as a picture. Whatever I say, he put in a picture form and save as a file. That's again interesting way, right? Rather writing it, he was drawing it as a picture and putting it. I liked it. I was looking at what you're doing. He said, this is the way I learn things faster. Good, great. So we cannot tell digital is wrong, but when you work as a team, digital will have a problem. So we may not get the context. There may be introvert in the group, there may be extrovert in the group. You have to give chance to everyone, right? Whiteboard will give the chance. They will come and talk to you, right? That's important. Fantastic. That's about a little on the agile modeling. This is another way of making interesting with the stakeholders, right? So let's go to the next one. One more question here. Try this question. Give a shot at this question. On an agile project, the definition of done is discussed frequently so that what will happen? What's the benefit happen there? I think I gave a clue of what is the definition of done. If you do that frequently, what benefit is going to happen? Okay, some answers are coming up. I like the way people started answering. Very good. Wow, that's good. Jay, Priya, Mahendra, Rajesh, fantastic. Okay, Giri says B. Okay, I go with the majority. Last time majority I didn't go, sorry, because the answer was different by the time. Now it's right. You all got the clue that all stakeholders, I have to underline the word all. It's because we'll have a number of stakeholders. As I said, Haley, your team members, your customers, your vendors, everybody agree together towards a common mission and goal. That's going to be a definition of done. So Arun want to give something different. Arun, I think I will go to the answers what you're saying. Arun is giving an answer saying that, hey Shriram, why not C, man? I feel C could be an answer. Okay, let me also see that. Now, there are 4 choices here. If I go with the C, the team members get to improve their negotiation skills. It's more than a negotiation. I will use a word understanding, right? I will use the word understanding more than the negotiation. Negotiation is something you bid for something, right? You start talking to each other to get a conclusion on that. But we are getting a common ground understanding. When I say something done, what it means is I completed A, B, C, D, right? Do you agree? They too agree. Or they say that no, not A, B, C, D, it should be A, B, C, D, E. Yes, negotiation can happen, but it is not only for the team members, it is with your all the stakeholders. So I will go with the answer B if I feel everybody's agreeing on that. I saw 90% agreed. I will go with that. Oof, it goes with B. Arun, I think now you may agree that it's always good to make an understanding what completion means rather negotiating with their team member. Hope you agree with that answer B. Oof. That's great. Aruna, great. So we are happy. Let's move. Okay, one more stuff of establishing shared vision, something called wireframes. It's something like Agile modeling what you did here. And this, I'm sure some of you have done it. At least you got the words. If you not got the words, it's kind of prototyping, a mock-up. Again, I'm talking about here is an knowledge-based project, which is an adaptive nature projects. See, if it is a building construction, a prototype will look like a miniature. I'm sure you see some apartments. They create a miniature or what they call it as sample home or yeah, there will be some sample demo home will be there. You can see that and get a feel of it, how a home will look like. A villa. If you go to 5 acres of land, one villa will stand in the middle and the tell us that that's a sample one. You can take a look of it. Wireframes will give a clue of how the flow will look like, how the system will look like, because we are working in an adaptive nature and also knowledge projects, which you cannot get a tangible one, it will be intangible one. So how do you do that? They create a mock-up of it and show that. I have done this many times in the initial stage of careers where we have to write a software for it specifically and show it. Nowadays, we have wizards, just fill in the detail, click the next button, it will create a flow of it. We can see how it will work out, right? That's how it is. So this is again another way of having a shared vision. Why? Because you are creating something by the understanding by the customer and share with your customer and your team members also. And you all come to a common conclusion. Yes, this is how it's going to be. Later, you'll have color addition, functionality addition. See, this mock-up will not have any functionality. It will just say next, 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 just keep moving, nothing more than that, right? So that is another way of making a shared vision. So we saw something called, if I want to go back, I showed you something called definition of done, one other way of engaging with the stakeholders, agile modeling. Then we saw something called wireframes, fantastic. And the last one of establishing vision is personas. I'm feeling these words are getting so famous these days, but this is there for so many years. Persona is about establishing a mental picture or a fictional character of a stakeholder. I know you can see a lot of picture, a baby is there, a old man is there, a working woman is there, right? These are some of the pictures you get in your mind. Now, why this is needed is you have to understand who is going to use this and their characters, their abilities, their age group, the geographical location. If you go too much of or much into specification of them, the product outcome can be better. And if you go to even scaled agile, they talk about that customer centricity, where they go a little more deep inside, understand about the empathy. They talk about how you understand the people, right? In agile, they say that understand the people, don't give a general solution, give a specific solution. I remember early days, we used to have cars and bikes are designed as a general, where they don't care of is that an elderly person can get inside the bar, get inside the car, or a woman who's pregnant can get inside the car. They won't analyze too much on that. They say that a car is to travel. That's it, the general solution. But if you watch at the recent days, the cars coming up, they have a proper seat movement up and down, where people are short, people are tall, they can use it. They have other features also, one by one keep adding up. They see even the kids, when a kid gets inside the car, what I have to do? You should have a child lock there. What should be done? They go each and level by level down. It's nothing but having a picture of the person who is going to use the product. It's called persona. If you read the sentence here, the first sentence on the left side, the user persona is a fictional character used to represent a specific user type. If you look at the right side, you will see Fiona and Sam, two people, right? Students, the age of 17 and 18. What is a character? What they do? Hey, Shriram, do we need to go this much deep? At some cases, it's expected. You have to understand, coming out of the general market, you have to understand from the specific market what they're looking into. And that will give a lot of value on an engagement level. Again, you are establishing a shared vision under the umbrella of stakeholder engagement. I think that gives a value for you. Okay, interesting. Let's move to the next one. Okay, one more question coming up. Oh my God, a lot of questions. Let's see. Through questions, we'll learn certain concepts. That's what I'm trying to put here. Which of the circumstances outlined below would be a good fit for the user personas? What would be the good fit? Which of the following circumstances outlined below would be a good fit for the use of personas? What will be used for the personas? What you're trying to understand from the personas? Okay, one answer came up. Okay, Priya says B. Okay, I know it's a little tough question. Give a shot. Let's see. Okay, now this time majority goes with B. Okay, thanks for the answers. And let me see if the majority is correct. Okay, one more D has come. Okay, when the conversation is centered on the higher level flow of a process, I think persona means I mentioned knowing the person itself, right? Getting a fictional character. If they know Shriram is so and so person, based on me, the product design can be very specific, so that I may be so much customer satisfied, right? Are they going general solution, a specific solution? So they're understanding me, where I come from, what is my needs, right? So when you go to second answer, when we are trying to do better understand stakeholder demographics and needs, this will look like an answer, but still we'll park it and go a little down. When we need to capture the high level objectives of specific requirements. See, I'm talking about persona, which is low level, but here the answer says a high level. I don't think C will map here. C, you have to strike out. A, we have to strike out. Competition is between B and D. Let's see the D. When we want to communicate what features will be included in the next release, I think this is about the project activity, right? You're talking about next release, what you're going to do. I don't think persona will talk about next release stuff. Persona is about a particular person, what this person is looking like, what is this person's specification, expectation. If that's the case, I have to strike out A, C, and D, and B can be an answer, which is very much close to stakeholder understanding of demographic and needs, right? Yeah, J changes to B. Thanks, Jay. Appreciate it. A couple of them went with D. Would you agree that B can be an answer? Yeah, Giri agrees on that. Okay. Okay, fantastic. If you see D is talking about next release. This I can do with my project management team, right? Or with my other set of release managers, I can talk to them. But persona is about the person, the end user, how the person look like. What is this person expecting? When I know them really well, it works really well, right? That's very important. Fantastic. I can see good amount of knowledge happening with you. You're learning it. Let's move a little more. Okay, the second topic, the first topic I spoke about engagement of stakeholders. The second topic I'm going to talk about communicating with stakeholders. It's going to be a very easy, lightweight topic. Communication, I'm sure you would have seen in the recent world, people are expecting more face value. Right? By the way, you are seeing me in the camera and you are hearing to me. This has a different value than you only hear me without a camera. Definitely has a different value. Do anybody agree that the cam has a different value and without cam it is something different? Do anybody feel the difference? Yeah, many say yes, yes, it's happening. It's not about the corporate, live the corporate life with the family members. How many of us love the WhatsApp video call? You can talk to your people who are not seen for so many months and years. In this pandemic, people used video camera like anything that made them to feel so great that you feel still connected. You're far away from miles away, but still you feel, hey, it's okay. We are there to support you, to help you. That seeing the people gives a different value. This was there for so many years back, because so many years back we don't have this telecommunication. They use only through letters and bags, and again they meet people for any discussion. People travel. They travel over the ship. They travel over with flights and meet people and talk to them and do that. Those days only the sea cadre or top level cadre will meet each other, but the bottom layer will not know what's happening. Now, what's happening in the current trend in Agile is they say that let everybody meet each other. And they say that effective communication can happen only face to face. If you go to Agile principle, in Agile we have 12 principles where you derive all the stuff. In 12 principles, a sixth principle says that the most effective way of communication within the development team is going to be face-to-face interaction. They say that you're gonna have a face-to-face interaction. Okay, Shriram, now we are in pandemic, man. We are all doing a virtual teamwork now. We are at home, we are doing it. Nothing wrong, do it. But have regular video calls with the people. Let them see each other. Let them get the feel of the people. That's very, very, very important, which makes a lot amount of connection. And I'm seeing some teams are doing effectively, some are not doing it. We specifically recommend that. Okay, there's a topic. Great example, town hall meeting. Yeah, Mahendra, I got your point. Yeah, town hall. Yep. So face-to-face meeting has amazing value where we recommend people to come on weekly once on a cam to talk to one another. Just say hi. Don't talk about project. Just say hi. What's happening? How you are managing things? What's happening at your side? Are you staying fit? Are you being a very health conscious on the situation to come down this pandemic situation? Right. Some people are so depressed that they sit at home. They can't do anything. They feel so bad when they meet their friends and colleagues at a corporate and feel that, hey, we are here, man, we are good, happy, things are going good, let's say cheers. That makes them feel better. Now, coming on the job side, how it works. If you look at the graph here on x-axis and y-axis, you will see two lines here. One is a black line, one is a green line. If you see the black line, it says that paper, audio recording, and it goes on. It just doesn't have a two-way communication. It's a one-way communication. Let's go to the green line. The green says that email, video recordings, or video chats, instant messaging, phones, face-to-face, or whiteboard. Right? And the level of importance goes high based on that, which has a two-way communication. Now, I like the very interesting thing in this graph is, if you observed, one point is so interesting point. You can see cold and hot. If you see that, that's interesting. If you see here, the paper communication or goes into cold, whereas the communication you do in person becomes hot. What does it mean? I'm not saying paper communication is bad. You should stop, because even today, anything on formal, we have to go with a paper-based communication. Either you written, signed, or digitally signed. These are very important. We can't say no for it. But for any effective communication within the team to make a transaction or information pass faster, better, in the right way, because the interpretation changes, right? How many times we read an email in the wrong way and we replied an email immediately without even thinking, Am I putting the right sentence? After you send an email, at another half an hour, you get another email back on that saying that, hey, Shriram, I don't mean that way, man. Please read the third sentence, the line which I'm saying very clearly, it's my mistake. Why do you took it that way? This kind of communication happens. Then you have to say, oh, I'm sorry, I read in the wrong way. This kind of communications happens most of the time. If it is within your friends, it's fine. But if it's a business and they're going to miss some millions of dollars, something wrong. Sometimes you lose your job. Sometimes you lose your reputation. Sometimes your team lose their value, right? They feel you, hey, you're not a leader, man. You don't know how to even write an email properly. You can't communicate what you want to communicate. Of course, mail is important communication. I'm not saying no. But if there is an opportunity, pick up a phone and talk to them. Have a video conference with them. That saves a lot of your time. And recent days, I'm doing most of video calls with all of my clients. Nowadays, we have a lot of video softwares. That gives a great feel, right? Once in a while, you say, hi, hey, what's happening? Where are you? I think it's the sunshine there. Here it's the sun setting there. So you start talking some factors that gives more connection, right? But again, work should be focused. You can't get deviated, but I'm saying that. Okay, now, so that's a little on this factor. As you agree, the factor of communication is very important. Okay, there is a question mark from face-to-face at whiteboard. Okay, what they mean that Mahendra? Mahendra is asking, Shriram, what is that? Face-to-face at whiteboard. I think but a conference calls, or sorry, conference meetings where you invite the people and you all talk to one another, go on the whiteboard, write and discuss about it. It is something kind of knowledge sharing, brainstorming, and you do kind of discussion with the team, right? That's what they're talking here. Fantastic. Thanks for that questions. And let's go to the next stage, what they say in Agile. Then we have something interesting factor coming up in communication. Here it is. Two-way communication. The picture says very clear. I don't want you to read the text. Look at the picture. When we work in the manufacturing and industry model, it was kind of a planned model or a traditional approach. Even today is the same way, where the management has more information than the workers. I'll repeat again. In the manufacturing industry or other way of construction industries or some industries, where the management has more information than the workers. So what happens is they'll do the top-down approach of information. It will be most of the time one-way approach. It will go by hierarchy. The top engineer will tell the next contractor, contractor will tell to the mason, mason will tell the employee, it will go down, 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 down. Sometimes the message goes properly, sometimes the interpretation goes totally wrong. It happens. There are a lot of ways they handle it. You cannot tell anything about these industries because these industries are there in the market more than hundreds of years. They know how to do this stuff. Now, when it comes to knowledge-based project, what we do, that is IT or non-IT or education industry, these are knowledge-based, where you cannot assume that management knows more information than the resources. Actually, it's the other way. Resources know more information than the management. Do anybody agree that resources have more information in the industry where you are? Right? Some of you agree that resources have more information about the project and technology and idea. And when that's a case happening, now you cannot go with a top-down approach. You have to go with the encode decode approach. Where they do that, you have to send an information and you pass a message, the receiver has to give a feedback, and it should be a loop of information going up. It cannot be a top-down approach. It can be an open forum where you start discussing with the people and get the information, right? That's a two-way of communication happens. So now we saw something called face-to-face communication, very vital, and we saw something called two-way communication. Very good. Now, I spoke little factors about engagement now. So far, I'm talking about how to keep the employee and also stakeholders and the customers engaged in the project and engage in the team in agile way. The terms what I'm explaining. In that, there is something called working collaboratively. Collaborative is the right word, but how to bring the collaboration in the team or in the project? We do something called brainstorming. Brainstorming is a very common term which we would have heard in many areas. But how do they do that? There are three ways of doing brainstorming. On a left, you can see quiet writing, round robin, free for all. Interesting. In quiet writing, what will happen is the team will be given with 5 to 7 minutes of time where you will write some important points and those points will be brought up for the discussion. With this, what will happen is some of the people are so introvert who don't want to speak up will get an opportunity. There are some people who feel the peer pressure when they want to talk. Whereas when you put some timeline for them, they can write down and be open enough to present it. Quiet reading helps a lot when you have very calm people in the room, right? Round robin, it goes in a turn. Everybody get a chance to present in a big forum. But again, here some people are so shy or some people don't want to share the ideas. It may be a problem, but People get a chance to present in a round robin fashion. One at a time they get a chance. The third one is a free for all. Everybody will start shouting, hey, there's an idea. That's an amazing idea. It will be like a sometimes share market, but the soft spoken people or introverts will have problem in that free for all area. So we have to find which will work. We can even go for some hybrid model, which will work for us and mix it. No book says that you have to follow what we say in the book. They say that it's there. Take it up, mix it, make the best out of it, and use it. That's what they talk about here. So brainstorming is another good way of collaborating with the people and your stakeholders efficiently. Okay, let's go to next stage. Next stage, something on collaboration games. Okay, there are some games here. I'm not sure how many of you seen these games. It's interesting games here. These games will help you, product owner, your customer, some sort of people can involve in the development of requirements, understanding the project, how they do that. On the left, I have a lot of items. If you talk about remember the future, remember the future. You can remember the past, right? How do you remember the future? Future is a vision oriented. What is the end goal we want? That vision we see here. That's a remember the future. And you have the product tree, speed board. You can see some images on the right side. In the image right side, it says a speed board. Speedboat is something, if you see the boat there, above the water, you have a lot of features. Below the water, you have some problems, risk. You see some rock there, that can be a risk which you have to look into fast. If not, your ship can go and hit there and stop there, right? Look like a game, right? So they draw a ship there and ask you to paste a slip over it. You have the flip, what do you got, the flip chart, right? You put the flip chart on that and sticky notes on that, telling that, hey, this I feel is a problem. This I feel as a risk, and this I feel as an important thing. So this is how they make game out of it. See, the people are getting a little bored with the same format of requirement gathering and feature understanding for so many years. That's the reason nowadays you feel a lot of ways of doing interestingly. People love to do that, right? The creativity also happens. Again, if you watch out, there is no digital stuff here. It's all paper pencil work, right? And if you see the product tree on the bottom right corner, a tree. In a tree, they'll put a stem certain factor, branch certain factor, they put the features inside that. From there, they pick and start working accordingly. Again, here, the intention is, okay, features to be understood, work should be understood, I agree. Beyond that, collaboration happens. You put a team members and do the work together. See, you can see this in your team building activities in a corporate life. The same team member whom you are not spoken very well, but when you go to a team builder to a resort or some place in on that day of team build, you guys will play together. You play cricket, you go for football, you go for swimming, you shout loud, you play music, and that day you realize that wow, I like this man, this works well. We do a good effort. In team building days, they give some small games. I know some games will be so nasty, boring. Some games will be really good. But those games makes us to feel more connected. We'll be more efficient in the games than just sitting idle. And that's the idea they're trying to bring here. How can you collaborate? Again, this all comes at the umbrella of Agile. Under this, you can use any method what you want. But Agile says that use more collaborative games which can make people to mix together. You can try this with the team. Let's take this as speedboat or sailboat. Draw a picture of your project in the boat and tell them that under the water there are a lot of risk factors unknown, which you can't see under the water. Above the water, certain factors are known. Can you guys put the sticky notes and tell me which is known, which is unknown? Team will be so interested. They'll start drawing things and start doing things. It may help. Chances are that, right? You can make a team more interactive by that. So that's one of the possibilities. Fantastic. But anybody here seen this a sailboat before? Maybe somebody expert on that. I don't know that. Anybody expert in sailboat? If not, I feel you can try it out. It will work. People love it. People love a different variety, right? You don't want to do the same stuff again and again. Yeah, people say no. People get bored with the same stuff, man. See, when Barbecue Nation, the new restaurant came in India, the new model, people liked it. Hey, Barbecue Nation, Barbecue Nation. After suddenly people get bored now. They want some music now. They want some dance should happen, live music. Somebody should shout, jump. They want variety. When you eat the food, they want that much of variety. When you want to work, why not you have a variety? Bring some new varieties. People feel good and they love to do the job. It should be so monotonous and boring. It shouldn't be that way. But at the same time, focus should be on the work. You should not get deviated totally. Okay, the last topic for the agile factors, which I'm going to cover here, which we talk about using critical interpersonal skills. By the way, we are in the topic in agile talking about stakeholder engagement, where we talk about something called using critical interpersonal skills. I'm sure many of you would have attended with me on the PMP classes. You would have seen that interpersonal skills is very vital and it goes well in any management. You go to any management books in the world, you go to Harvard, you go to PMP, you go to ACP, any books, they keep telling that interpersonal skills is very important. Now, why this is important? Because you have to keep your stakeholders tightly packed, engaged with us, and for that you need some amount of what is it, understanding of yourself. For that, we have something called emotional intelligence. The book says that at the age of 20s, people IQ will be very high. At the age of 40s, people's EQ will be very high. So IQ, intelligent quotient, and whereas it comes to EQ, emotional quotient, right? When a person has IQ and EQ together, and that person outshines the world. You can see some people who is in the top level in the market on any industry. They have both IQ and EQ in some proportion. They are the ones shining. Somebody is so amazing, emotionally great, but no intelligence will not shine. Somebody is so intelligent but idiot will not shine, right? You should be combination of both. Sometimes they call it as a character and competency. You should have a competency, you should also have a good character. Both combined together, you will start seeing the progress. Okay, now how this philosophy works with the stakeholder engagement. They give a good chart. This chart comes from the ACP books of the examination. Some questions can come in this area. They talk about, on the left side, you can see self. On the right side, you can see others. On the self side, you can see first you have a self-awareness. From the self-awareness, you have a self-management. I'm following the arrow. The arrow starts from the self-awareness and it goes self-management. Only you know about yourself, only you know how to manage yourself, then you go to social awareness, empathy, understanding other people, and then you go for the social skills. Now, why this is being given to at the age of 20, 30, and 40 now is you are almost matured in this information. Already you know there's details with you, but how do you scale it up? How you sharp it up? Because this emotional intelligence will save amazing job opportunities with your customer because they feel connected. I'll give an examples for you telling that any company who's doing good project management will always have one good set of people who is always in good touch with the customer. They call it as a rapport. You know what? That manager has a good rapport with a particular client in this country. Because of that, we're getting projects. I've literally heard it for so many years. I'm still hearing it. It's not about technology. It's not about the money. It goes beyond that. How they create that rapport, not a fake one, a genuine one. A genuine one happens only when you have all this understanding. When you have all this understanding, you create a good relationship with your team members. We always hear that, right? People don't resign because of the company. People resign because of what? Manager, right? Again, the problem starts with the team, also with the manager. When you go with the particular customer, there is a problem with the human. But you see some people do good job there. It's because of understanding emotional factors. Have anybody seen that? You've seen some managers in your corporate make a good connection with the customers. That gives bad business, a good business. They keep a good rapport with them and keep running the business consistently. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I think Arun was giving a message. I lost my voice for a few seconds. Is it so? Are you guys feeling good? Better there? Fine. Okay. Maybe Arun, there is some net break from your side. Okay. Thanks for that. Hey, thanks for confirming and thanks for telling that, Arun. I know sometimes net may be gone down. Okay, that's one of the emotional factors. And let's attend a question on emotional intelligence. Let me see how much you are good on emotional intelligence. Take a question on this. What is not part of emotional intelligence? Let's see the answer coming up. What is not part of? So it means 3 items are part of emotional intelligence. Only one is not part of it. What is that? Okay, let's go. Okay, I got 2 answers now. Mahendra and Giri also made the answer. Very good. Let's see. Let everybody give a try. Let's see your emotional intelligence knowledge. Go ahead, give a try. Nothing wrong, give a try. Okay. Few more are there. Can you give a try on your side? I can see some of you so much silent. You can give a try on answers. Let's see how much you are aware of it. Okay. Okay. I can see majority going with one answer, which is D. The reason why you're going to D could be like this. The answer says that the ability to control other people's emotions. Okay, I think this point probably hits very hard. You cannot control other people's emotion, whereas the ability to control your own, yes, I can. The ability to identify, assess, and influence our own, yes, we can. We can influence emotions of other people, yes. See, by speaking up in these classes, I can try to influence some emotions on you. That can be done. But can I control yours? It's not, it's your personal thing. I cannot control it. Right? It cannot happen. So what is not part of emotional intelligence is you cannot control others' emotions. I can see everyone made the right choice. Good choice there. Thanks for doing that. Okay, that makes us to understand the emotional factor, but it's good to answer the exam. But in a reality, I feel many people have this imbalance in emotional factors. Kindly read more books about emotional factors because this spoils a personal life very much. I can see I generally get calls as I read with books of psychology. Some people reach out to me for the counseling, saying that Shriram, I have everything in my life. I have a good job, I have a good family, but something is not allowing me to be happy. Something is really bothering me. When I do a little more investigation with them on a few calls, I get an understanding that somewhere they're not emotionally balanced. They don't know what to do at a high time, what to do at a low time. They don't know how to control things. They live for the perception of others. I try to tell them that don't live for the perception of others. What this guy will tell, what she will tell, what the society will tell, what the company will tell. Of course, we have to live within the boundary. I'm not saying no, but too much into that, it will create a lot of trouble where your emotions will be out of balance. Be a little careful. Anyway, there are a lot of books in the market. You can read Robin Sharma books. You can read something on Think and Grow Rich. You Can Win. There are a lot of books which talks more about it. I don't think you have to search for it. Just Google it. You will find tons of book. Only thing needed is you need a time to sit and read. That much of information is there. But understand how to handle emotional factors that will save a really good life for us. Right? That's very important. And I like the PMI Institute. The reason being is they really touch this topic well in all the area of their books. Good. Interpersonal skills, one more, the last one, which talks about active listening. Listening is one important factor in management, that is specifically in Agile. We have three levels of listening. One is internal, focused, and other one is a high level of listening, which is called global listening, where you give high attention to the subject, what you listen. Internal listening, generally people do, where when they listen, they keep having the murmuring within them. In the sense, there is some internal talk where they cannot get the actual subject. They will listen, but they will listen only in their perception. They will try to map it everything to your personal life, right? If somebody says that, hey, I saw a car accident at the end of the road, quickly mind will go that, can my car go out today evening? Will there be any problem? So your mind will start calculating on survival instinct on how to survive in this situation. And your brain will start doing that. Nothing wrong in it. But every message, if you do that way, you lose a context of what has been said there. Then comes a focused listening, where you start getting the context of what is being said. That's very interesting. Then goes a global listening, where they start getting the emotions behind the words. If you read here on the left side, second sentence, the expression, do what I mean, not what I say. Do what I mean, not what I say. Just don't go by the words. Go behind the words and see the emotions behind it. And this is how people do the active listening part who are higher in the cadre. They keep focusing more on the listening factor. Listening is an amazing skill which can be developed. It is not a skill which you get only by birth. Some people have a birth, it's okay. But listening can be developed. How to develop that? Try to avoid the distractions. How to avoid the distractions? Understand the emotional factors. First, understand who you are, what you are doing. I'm not asking you to become a saint, but at least understand who and what you're doing. That will help you to be a little more calm and composed. When someone says, you can listen well. For now, even in the class, I'm telling that some of you can observe me well, some of you are distracted. Maybe you have a mobile with you, you have a television running there. Your mind says after 1 hour what I have to do, what I have to eat, did I have the coffee? Your brain is keep on actively working. You can't stop it. But how do you calm down that process and keep a focus on this area is something very interesting which you have to do. This is all good for leadership. Some people think that after 20 years I'll become a manager, a promotion will happen automatically. Those days are gone. If you don't have this emotional balance, if you don't have proper listening, we may sometimes stay in the same place for so many years. Nobody bother it. They say it's okay, be there, you deserve it. So to come out of those factors, these things are important. So Shriram, I don't need to learn robotics. I don't need to learn data science. You have to learn, but without these soft skills, you learn whatever it is, you'll be in the same place. There's learning these skills along with the technology domain definitely will give a growth. So that's a thought process. Fantastic. Let's go a little more, and I will see what I have for you now. Okay, there's a last chart for this course, which talks about interpersonal skills, where there is something called voting or simple voting process, which make people to collaborate well. We are talking about stakeholder engagement, right? Many times what will happen is people try to give a lot of opinions, but you don't know whom to choose and what to choose. On that scenario, what we do, we try to go for the voting process. They call it as a fist of five, or they give a thumbs up voting process. If you see the pictures, you can see somebody says thumbs up for a particular ask, maybe requirement based, or maybe on particular decision making. They give a thumbs up, they give a thumbs down, they give a thumbs up. Now, the point of doing this is it gives a little more involvement from them. Shriram, why can't we do this in an email? Yeah, we can do that. Can you do voting there? Yes, you can do that. But more than that, when you have a people and give a common scenario and ask them to answer for it and do some thumbs up or thumbs down, that has a different value than you do all by emails. Again, this is one other form of agile way where they try to make people to more active and involved in what they are saying, right? Sometimes your body actions will be so vibrant and open than what you write in an email, right? That's important. This again, I found very interesting factor, and in scaled agile, they use it highly. I found it so interesting. Fantastic. That gives a little idea about the agile under ACP, which I spoke about is one of the subject. If you look the pie chart here, what we saw here at the bottom, you see there is 17%. That is non-stakeholder engagement. It's a very lightweight subject. At the same time, very important for your life. I have covered certain subjects here. Establishing a shared vision, which I covered up, which gives you a clue of what do you mean by shared vision. Yeah, that we did here. And we did something called definition of done, agile modeling, the picture of things. Then we did something called wireframes, personas. Yeah, we discussed about it. Communicating with stakeholders, a face-to-face communication. Yeah, we discussed about it. And using critical interpersonal skills. What are the interpersonal skills? We spoke about emotional intelligence, active listening, and again, fist of five voting. What will make you a better person in an agile world or any model of project management? When I explain all these concepts, some of the concepts will be very clear for you because I already used it. Some of them are pretty new for you. I would request you to read that, which will give a high amount of useful stuff when you go for the real life. Now, let's see what's the purpose of this. Okay, what's the purpose of reading all this stuff? There is something called PMI-ACP certification. There are people who are working as a Scrum Master, team member, or in a company where the Agile is being really introduced, working out. You can look for this certification called Project Management Institute's Agile Certified Practitioners. Okay, Sean, can I go for this? Yes. If anybody with a school or college degree, anything qualification, you can go for it. That's the education level. And what about the project experience? The experience is very lightweight, which they have. If you see here, they say 2000 hours of projecting. 2000 hours of projecting. What is 2000 hours? 2000 hours is 1 year. 1 year of timeline. That is 40 hours per week. 1 year or 1 year slightly plus will become a 2000 hours. So if you have little agile flavor with you, 1500 hours, which can be almost 8 months, I believe, 7 months or 8 months. So 1 year, 8 months, I generally tell 2 years of overall experience. Out of the college, after a college, at the age of 22 or 24, you can do this course because that much of experience is enough. That's enough for agile course because agile is being very lightweight. They don't expect you to go much deep knowledge. Whereas if you go to PMP, they expect a little more deep knowledge. The reason the subject is so vast and big and depth. Whereas here it's a lightweight subject. So they expect you to have around 2000 plus 1500 hours of experience. Apart from that, you have to go through the training program of 21 hours, right? So like you'll go and sit with an ACP or agile coach, like what I'm doing. You have to sit for at least a few hours. Let's say few hours, 21 hours of training. When you do that, you get an eligibility for the examination. By the way, what I'm saying is an eligibility because many may not know that what is eligibility. ACP has a few criteria, right? They do go through that. Once you complete it, you're good for your examination and you can go and write it. Shriram, how to do this, man? It's very simple. There are a few books which you have to read through. At least one book you have to read fully, maybe 200, 300 pages. You have to read once. And you have to sit with me for the classes, like what I explained. I have to explain in 7 domains. After you're observing all the concept, reading the book once, it will take hardly 3 weeks of time. After that, you have to practice few questions, sample questions. Once that's also good for you, then you have to go for the exam. The exam is an online exam. Fantastic. With your laptop at your home, 3 hours, 120 questions. Questions will be all simple questions. Answer it, clear, and get a certificate. This is how it works. Okay. Okay. There is a point here. Mahendra, I'm seeing point number 2, part second note. I'm not getting it. What is it?
Shriram,
Sorry?
Shriram Mahendra here. This for those who are holding a project management position. Can you just explain that note or in general project experience?
Mahendra can't hear you well. What I understand is you're talking about the point number 2. If you are PMP already certified, that particular years of experience not needed. Are you talking about that? Okay. Yes, that's right. They give weightage for their certificate, right? PMP has weightage. When somebody completes PMP, that is weighted in many certificates, not only this certificate. Out of PMI Institute, if you go to any certificate, they'll weighted it because it has such a heavy value. That's how it goes. And again, it gives PDUs. For the people who already completed PMP, what will happen is when you complete this 21 hours of training, it will give you 21 PDUs for you. So when you complete PMP, you have to gather 60 PDUs every 3 years. For that reason, they come and attend these classes, they get 21 PDUs, and the PMP value also goes high. Again, they do the ACP certification also. This is how they do. Very good, great, and that's a good listening from you all. And let's get. You have any questions specific here before we go to the scaled agile concepts? Come on the mic if you have any questions. We are happy to explain. Okay. Okay, let me give a minute of time. As you have any questions, I can listen to that. If not much questions, I will get to the next year of scaled agile, which I'm going to talk now. But first, let's listen to you of any questions.
Hi, Shri. Chinmoy here.
Hey, Chinmoy. Yeah.
Okay, Shri, first of all, good evening. Just have a quick question regarding the prep for PMI-ACP certification. And I mean, as you say, I mean, the target days would be like approximately 21 days. So, I mean, how intense the preparation should be? Like, I have been connected with you during my PMP certification, and yeah, that was awesome. And the kind of sweat and effort I put was enormous. So, is it like, as you were mentioning it rigorously, that it's a lightweight thing? So, a couple of hours or 3 hours a day is good enough, or something more is required?
That's a good question. By the way, it will take hardly 1 to 1.5 hours per day. That's how I read. Because after doing PMP, it took me 1 year to go for the ACP. After doing PMP, what will happen is you'll become a master of any certificate in the world. So your brain will start to accommodate faster. So I used to read 1 to 1.5 hours per day. That I did for 2 to 3 weeks of time. Then I practiced only one practice exam. That to all free exams internet. When I did not this much of information available in the market. So I used to Google somewhere and get it. These days we have a lot of sample questions. In fact, our team has a lot of mock exams, real good mock exams. So I did that one practice exam. I got some decent score in that. I don't remember the score. Then that's it. With that, within 3 weeks, I went to the exam. I cleared it. In fact, when I went to the exam hall, I found what I did in the practice exam was totally different. What I did in the real exam is different. That's a surprise always PMI will give. So I felt I was able to solve all the question by looking at the question on the spot, because these agile concepts are so much lightweight. Anybody new to the market also can read the question and answer it. You don't need to read the book and answer. Without reading the book also, you can go and try, but you'll get 50%. But at least a 60 to 65% decent score to clear. So crack that extra 15 to 20%, you have to read the books. If not, what are the concepts you're going to read in the books? You will feel that, oh my goodness, I know all this stuff, man. That's a feeling you get. So answering your question, it no need such a intensive stuff is not needed. A lightweight of 1 to 2 hours per day for at least 20 days, if you prepare, more than enough. You can clear the exam. Hope that helps.
Sure, Shri. Thank you very much.
Yep, please. That's good. You can give a shot. I think, in fact, we're starting a batch by, let me look at the calendar. Yeah, 20th of June, there is an ACP batch starting, right? So we will run through this batch as a live session like this with covering all the subject. Once a class gets over or when the class is happening, you will get a study plan, how to read on a daily basis, how many hours you have to read, which subject you have to read will be given to you. Once you get the plan, just print the plan, put on the wall, start seeing that and reading it every day. Once you get comfortable at certain days, maybe 20 days or 15 days later, I'll be giving you some practice exam. Go to the practice exam, practice it, share me the score. I will let you know that how it look like. Same like PMP, right? But here I will give a little more better thoughts on Agile because Agile is a little different world. And now you will go for the main exams and you will make a shot and clear it out. So not a big tough job there. Fantastic. Okay, good for the question, and thanks for that question asking there on the Agile Factor ACP. And again, the question comes up: can I go for ACP? Can I go for Scrum certification? Can I go for Product Manager certification? PO, PM, a lot of questions coming out. So, 2015, I did CSM, Scrum certified. I liked it because it talks about Scrum specifically, how they do stand up, how they do retrospective, how they do sprint planning, grooming. It was well explained. I liked it. By the time I felt it's so interesting to learn at the team level. Later, I found that, hey, I have good experience, man. I'm not thinking at the team level. Team level, I learned happy, but now let me move to the next level, that is a leadership level. Okay, in leadership in Agile, what I can do? There, I started looking into the ACP exam. I felt, wow, this talks leadership, man. This guy's a little bigger than that. Then I learned it. After some time in 2019, I learned Scaled Agile framework. Then after learning ACP, I felt that, okay, let me go to the portfolio level and program level and director level, what it is there. There I went to Scale Agile framework. I felt, wow, these guys are bigger than that. They have a lot of information. So I have CSM, I felt good at a team level. ACP, Agile coaching, team lead, project lead, I felt really good. When you talk about the program level, project level, at portfolio level, the higher base, with along with the team, I understood safe, which is a good job. So all three I feel is needed, but depends on your level of time and investment. It goes there. Good. Okay, Setram asking when is the next PMP batch? Okay, PMP batch next starts by 27, I believe 27 or 28. Should be 28, I believe. 28th of June, Setram, that's a message to you. Yeah, PMP is starting in 28th June. PMP is always hot wanted. Yep.
Hello.
Good. Yes, Israel, I can hear you.
Okay,
Thank
Israel Abdullahi. Yeah, okay. Please, I just joined. This is my first time. I know this. It's all about PNP, right? Project management. Hello.
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can
Hello?
hear you. Okay, please go ahead. I can hear you.
Okay, good. See, I want to start from the basis. I was invited to join by a very good friend, and I know it's going to be useful to me. Now, I want to start from the basis. For somebody who wants to start from the basis, that's fundamentals. What does it entail?
Abdul, I can hear you, but I cannot get the context what you're asking. I know you are here to listen to the program. What you can do is, can you put on the chat window? You have a chat window there. There is an option called private. You can choose a private and type your message. So it will help me to read through and I can answer you a little more better. Hope that's good for you. Yep. Yeah, please. Yeah, because sometimes in the audio, the quality of the audio is not good where I can get your message. Thanks for understanding. And let me get your message in the chat and get back to you. Okay, here we go. We spoke about Agile for last 1 hour. Very good. Now, what is this, Shriram? This is also Agile. Oh my goodness. You guys are in Agile, you have different naming convention, man. Yeah, it is. What happened is in 2001, the Agile kick started really well. But in the 1990s on, there are a lot of problems. Many started telling that hey, traditional way is not working well for the IT and knowledge-based projects. Can you guys think something lightweight, something different? There, the Agile concept came in 2001. It's almost now 19 years. It's gone. Almost 19 years. We are there, right? It's going to be more than 2 decades we are into Agile. But still, we are talking that Agile has to be learned. I feel sometimes people feel that, okay, we talk a lot agile, but when you go to company, it's not happening. They are called as a ad hoc agile. They take something, put something, we don't know what we do. We don't know what the company is doing. Both of them are in a confusion on this area. It's so common. Now, this happening, team is running, project is going, 10 projects are successful, 20 projects are failure. It's a common trend happening. Now, what happened is in 2011, there was a necessity that we have to have some framework which can make a better understanding of scaling the agile. So you mean, Shriram, scaling is very new in the concept? It's not new. We have a lot of other framework also in the market. Like we have LIS is there and discipline agile is there. A lot of market available with how to scale it. The English word scale makes bigger, right? Scaling. Now, what do you mean by bigger, man? Agile team means bigger, right? May. Now, what will happen is Agile team is a mix of stuff, right? You will have 8 to 9 members of self-organized, keep working as a group. Like that, I have 5, 6 groups working together. But when I want to put all this team together, there happens some problem. Sometimes they work good, sometimes it doesn't work good, because a mismatch starts happening. Now, what happened is this framework, which came in the 2011 Scaled Agile community or Scaled Agile group, they started giving a very excellent framework, which has results coming out. Like a frameworks are a lot there in the market, but are you giving results? That's a question. Now, how to give a results? The moment you have a systematic approach, synchronization, proper cadence in place, proper vision understood by the top management to the lowest level of resource, where everybody has a common goal, it works well. To do that, there are various framework is there. Maybe we've spoken a few more videos in the last 2 weeks. Today, I'm going to take one small topic and small lightweight content in that whole framework. I'll show what the framework is all about, but I'm going to take one small topic. I'm going to just give a heads up about it because I don't want to drill too much. Just give a heads up about it. First of all, let's talk about something called Agile Release Train. Oh man, there's a train here. Why use a train? Okay, train is a concept to put people together and work towards a common goal. Okay, a train, that's how it works, right? You have people of different variety, men, women, children, different features, different thought process, all go in a train, lot of compartments, and you have a driver, you have a guard, all have a common goal of reaching destination 1 to destination 2. So that's a goal is going to happen. Let's see how this is being happening in a scale agile framework and how it's useful to the people as well, right? So before that, yes, Jay, you are right. Release train engineer, you got it. Right, good. Good. What I do is, more than talking about scale agile framework, more than the slides, we have a lot of information in their website, which is open to anybody. Anybody can go and read it. A lot of information is there. So what I do is I'll cover up there some factors and come back here. So first I'm going to cover something on the framework. Of course, you all are aware of the framework, but I thought just to give a clue of it, so it will make it a little more interesting. So what we do, we have a framework here. Okay, can someone confirm me you are able to see a screen with a lot of content? You are seeing big screen with a lot of content, like a fire drill map at your office? Okay, okay, thanks for confirming. I know this is so interesting picture. When you saw this first time, I don't know where to start seeing that. I had to see from the left to the bottom and the right, I don't know where to do. But now it has become a habit that I can draw this diagram in 15 to 20 minutes without seeing anything. By practice, it happens, right? I ask people to write to some of the PMP stuff on everyday basis to memorize it. I did this for nearly 6 months or 8 months. Now, if you give me just a paper, next 20 minutes, a full picture will be the paper. So I can draw that way. Now, best thing of doing this architecture diagram or what I have here as a framework is this framework is giving amazing results. So what do you mean by results, Shriram? See, let me not do too much. Let me give a highlight just on that. If you see the top, you see something called enterprise. The enterprise talks about the organization where you and me belong, or the customer. Could be anybody, the customer who is willing to do business with you, right? It can be both of it, either you or the business party. Now, they have something which need to be achieved, right? That something can be called as a strategy, a high level strategy which they want to achieve. The strategy can later turn into epics. The epics can turn into more as a features, which will get and sit into the program backlog. right? See, what you have here is called as a portfolio backlog at a high level. A portfolio for backlog further splitted or drilled down, and that becomes program backlog, right? And the program backlog will consist of a list of features to be implemented. The features later become a story. The story is what you do in every sprint. If you see here, every is one sprint keep happening. When you see this for the first time, you may see a lot of content here, but when you start practicing it for some time, you get a flow of it. You will not consume all this thing at one shot. It will take time because each one play their role. You don't need to run every part of the ground. Imagine this is a football ground. You don't need to go to every position, right? Each will do their role. They will play the shot. The forward guy will play the forward, the backward will be the forward, the middle will be the middle. Why you have to run all the plays? But as a agile guy, as a person of a scaled agile person, you should know what it does. When you know the people and the role, when you know what it does, it has amount of energy to work with it. If not, you will be in a different synchronization. You don't know what to do. So for that reason, something we have to understand today, which I'm going to talk about something called as scaled agile. Under that, we have something called release train. So let's talk about the release train. The release train is somewhere you will see here in the middle of the diagram. You see a release train here. Okay. Release train is something which will take certain inputs and it's going to become an output, which is going to be consumable or it's going to be a solution for the customer. Well and good. Of course, right? Any management, that's how it is. You take something in, you give something out. How you give, are you giving it faster, efficient, high in good quality, employee engagement is there? Are we meeting the standards? That's the question. Every framework of management or project agile, always they take something in, something will come out. But how good you give, that's a question. How efficiently you can give, that's also a question. To do that effectively, we have something called DevOps to do that, right? Okay, this is a big picture. Okay, this you've seen once. It's okay if you don't even understand it, but at least you know that where this agile release train set inside this framework. The framework has something called set of work to be done. The work has a name called epics. The work has a name called features or stories. This is what we have to complete. In order to do this, we need a flow. We need a set of actions, set of principles to apply and achieve it. How are we going to do that? Let's see first of all what is agile release train. Then we'll go and understand other factors. So what I'll do is quickly I'll pull up the slide of what I have, which will give a little clue about what is this train all about. Okay, here we have agile release train. If you see the line written here, 50 to 125 practitioners like you and me who knows about what is safe may include different disciplines and they start working together towards a common goal. Shriram, what is this, man? 50 to 125 people? I don't understand. So you mean after 125, you won't recruit anybody? You mean less than that, you won't take anybody? Okay, let's see that what it is. I put certain points of agile release train. Of course, there are a lot of points. I try to put certain points here. They call it as a virtual organization. Okay, what do you mean by virtual organization? It will be a collection of people from different functionality in your organization who can join hands together towards a common goal. Okay, what can be? You can have at least 5 to 12 teams. On the left, you can see point number 2. It says you can have at least 5 to 12 teams work together. What do you mean? 5 to 12 agile teams start working together towards a common goal. So you mean at present we don't have people working together? Yeah, people are working, but it's not in a synchronized or aligned way. There the problem starts. Okay, I know somebody's unmuted. Let me try to mute him. D341449. I'm muting you. Kindly change it to your name. It will be easy to call you. Thanks for that. Okay, now we have the point, second point, teams of 5 to 12 people are joined together and 5 to 12 teams joined together. How big the team can be? The team can be on a third point. If you see 50 to 125 people can be in agile release train. Yeah, a train consists of a virtual organization. Don't think train a compartment will be there. We are trying to see a virtual organization of 50 to 125 people work together towards something which you see in the brackets here: plan, commit, develop, and deploy. They have the capability to plan on the project work, what they have to do, product work, what they have to do. They have the capability to commit on what they want to do. Now, I like the word commit because of 50 to 125 people of you have a development, quality, testing engineers, you have the architects, you have a functional managers, everybody's committing saying that we shall do this. Rather, one team says we will do, other team work in a different cycle, create a lot of trouble. This synchronization problem was there for long, so many years at the Agile team. Whereas you put everybody together with a common goal, that's going to help, right? You have 5 to 12 teams and 50 to 125 people work with a common goal. And keep on saying common goal, what is that? Let's take an example of Amazon. Amazon is going to come out with a new sales model, which is going to be there after post-pandemic. They want to tell that a 2 million sale target for the set of 2 days of offer day. For that, they have to release some package. They want to release some new software application. What they do? That is the value which they want to achieve. It's called as a value stream, which they want to achieve. In order to get that product out in the market, they don't want at least 5, 6 people working. It will be a big team, right? When you have a big application coming up, they want to do a lot of teams to join together towards a common goal. How do you put together? You will have your all planning engineers, you will have your development engineers, quality, design, framework design engineers, architects, you will have your recruitment team, finance team, everybody coming in. Oh, you mean other like recruitment finance will also come in? Yeah, they can. There is a necessity to take people, let them be part of this program, part of this train. You board them on the train. So what happens is when everybody get inside the same train on a same mission, what will happen is there won't be pull and push, where most of the time delay is happening. And there comes the lean concept. Lean says that reduce the wastage of this time delay, right? For that, they try to make the better operation of putting people together. Okay, that's a concept of value stream and how SAFe works. But let's understand what actually art does, right? Art has to support that feature, what we're talking here. So in art, in Agile release time, they have 5 to 12 teams work together. They have 50 to 125 people who can go for this plan, commit, develop, and deploy. And arts are organized around value streams, which I said. I give an example of Amazon, where they have a value stream to be achieved. Or there is a banking application to be rewritten. They have a banking application, but it's a pretty old application. They want to rewrite it, and it's a massive banking application which needs a good amount of people to work. That's a value they want to achieve, right? That's going to be there. Art breaks down the traditional functional silos. I believe it's all of you would agree with me. Even today, whenever you start a work in a project, when you want a human resource to be recruited or material to be acquired, like a laptop or some Amazon cloud access, now what happens is each one has a different department. You have to send a mail to A, mail to B, mail to C. They have their own priority of working. So yours will be standing on the priority number 3. They first focus on a priority number 1, then only come to you. By the time you have to onboard the resource here and start the work here, which is getting delayed, you're trying to start asking questions. Now that can give a bad impression. A few minutes back, we spoke about stakeholder engagement in Agile Factor, right? That engagement starts going into trouble. And this kind of silos, people working in different segments, gets a lot of trouble. Now, what happened is they're trying to put everything together and saying that, hey, in Agile release train, we break the silos. How you do that? That I'm going to show through their website, how they do this process. Give me a minute. I'm getting the site to show what all these factors all about, right? Before that, quickly, I'll see some chat message there. Can give some more insights on value streams? Yes, Rajesh, I can help you. I'll go there. Great questions coming up. Let me quickly do this part. Here it goes. Since Rajesh asked about value stream, what I do is I just pull out that content of value stream. If you see it here, let's see the first line, first to understand what it's all about. Value stream represents series of steps that an organization uses to implement solution. I don't know whether you get the word exactly, but if you read the words, series of steps that an organization uses to implement a solution. Hey, this is what we're doing every day, man. Now we call it as value stream. Yes, we do it, but we may not done in a way what we are looking into this SAFe model, where you look into a scaling of Agile, where you make it as a teams of teams who are going to work together towards a common goal, right? And to attain this common goal, first of all, there should be good understanding between the top layer, mid layer, and the bottom layer. How they do that? They join together as a team and start working as something called PI planning, where they start plan towards a common mission to be achieved. If you read it a sentence here, value streams represent a series of steps that an organization uses to implement solutions that provides continuous flow of value to a customer. To a customer, the value is expected as a continuous flow. What do you give? Any output. It could be an application. It could be an output like a product which they can use it. How do you give that? The output which they get as a solution for which we understand the concepts, we take into the steps what to be followed, and that's going to be a value stream, right? A safe portfolio contains more than one or more development value streams, each of which is dedicated to build and support a set of solutions. I know value streams go a little more deep inside, but for now, given understanding, it's something, a product, a collection of steps to attain a product. We don't talk the word project here. In SAFE, we talk the word product. A product is a combination of all the steps and processes needed to achieve that and also sustain and maintain it. There are days where we think that something is done, we'll hand over to the operations team, right? A project team will do the work and hand over to operations team. But here we're looking at the life cycle of the whole product. Whenever you take full ownership of it. There's a whole team will take full care of it from the beginning till the end. So this becomes a product in responsibility of the team where we work together, right? Okay, that gives a little heads up, I believe. So, okay, there is a question. Hope Rajesh that helps you. Meantime, I'll go to Jay. I have a question, sir. 5 to 12 teams means 5 different project teams working from same program on different applications. Okay, Jay, I think your question itself has a lot of noodles kind of mix here. 5 different project teams. Why project teams have to work in the same way? I'm saying that it is a common goal and common mission which these 5 to 12 teams work together. Usually, you have to see the word as a scaled. We're talking about scaled. We're not talking about a small set of teams working here. 1 or 2 system of projects and deliverables. That no need of scale. Scaling is needed at a big size. I'm giving an example of share market applications to be rewritten, or a software for a banking system, aerospace, aviation industry, something so big. In fact, many companies have big operation happening these days. For that, they will work towards a common mission, a program, a portfolio level. On that level, you'll have a number of teams working towards a common goal, where when they have worked together, the chances of attaining the results and the value going to be higher, right? That's what the point here is. If you have different projects with the different goals, I don't think they have to put them together, right? Hope, Jay, that's helped you. Now, let me quickly jump to the next part of Agile release train, which is the goal of this session to explain you. Yep, here it is. Okay, this is from the website of Scale Agile Framework. Anybody can Google and read it. It is, or go to their website directly and read it. There is no restriction. It's an open site and anybody can go read. How to do that? You can go to scaleagileFramework.com, and if you click this icon, it says Agile Release Train, and that will open like this. This is how you have to read. And in fact, they have an amount of information. Anybody can read and learn. The language will be very simple, easy, and anybody can learn it, right? Nothing blocks you. But let's understand little factors about Agile Release Train. If you watch out here, Agile Release Train is a long-lived team of Agile teams, which along with other stakeholders incrementally develop the deliverables part, right? So if you see here, I like this part. Let me go down. Okay, Agile Release Trains aligns teams of common business and technology mission, right? And which has a virtual organization of 50 to 125 people that plans, commits, develops, and deploys together. Okay, that capability will be for this team where they can work together and start releasing it. Now, how they do that? Let's go and see a little more down on the factors, what they say. Some of the points which I like with Scale Agile, when they talk here about Agile Release Train is, the schedule is fixed. They have a systematic schedule where the team will have a scheduled timeline of train start and train stop. So you know that when it's going to happen, it's predictable. The customer can predict the outcome. The customer can predict the results going to come up, right? For which we need to have a systematic prediction going to happen. That we do has a PI cadence, it happens. And another interesting point, what I like here is more we use something called face-to-face PI planning. But for now, there are some blockers because of the pandemic, but still they're going with a lot of virtual way of connecting with your customers and the team members. PI planning is one of the interesting and more exciting feature of Scaled Agile, where they invite people of all the cadres in this particular program, particular portfolio, to talk about what is the business expectation in this particular release or in this particular PI increment, and everybody starts giving input. Now you may be surprised, you will see the portfolio manager, you will see the director in that meeting could address what they expect out of it. This I have not seen in so many years, where you don't see a portfolio manager come and talk about what they look. You don't see a business owner, a business manager at the top level come and talk to you. It's a big forum where you sit and listen to them what they are asking for, and then they too commit on this particular deliverables. So it is an approach where everybody shares what they look into and everybody move towards a common goal, which I really liked it when I met one of the PI planning, right? And another interesting factor I love here is something called innovation planning. And IP, they call it as IP. One of the interesting factor, many times when I meet with some of the agile teams, they give a feedback that, you know what, we work like a machine. Every 2 weeks we complete something, we get next set of work. We work the next 2 weeks, again next set of work. We don't get a time to think. We don't get a time to raise a question. We don't get a time to read something for ourselves and innovate something. And I felt this being really addressed here in PI planning, where we have, in iterations, you have one particular iteration specifically set for innovation, where people can talk about what is good, what is improving, what are ways we can grow up, and also they talk about what are the upcoming features which need to be done. So IP is one of the interesting factor, happens in Scaled Agile, which you will also love it. Okay, that's a little much on the side and a lot of points there. What I thought is I want to share something on the art benefits. Okay, look at some drums here. If you see this, in this, they call about connect the silos. Okay, what is the silos all about is teamwork individually. There not be not of a lot of collaboration was missing for so many years in most of the organization. To me, at least I know some years back, I have seen that most of the time I work as a software engineer with a quality engineer. I, I may not connect with the hardware team. I may not connect with the system engineers. I may not know the business team. I may not know the HR or recruitment team. I may not know the finance team. I may not know the operations team. But this all together is what company is all about. This all together is what we're serving the customer. But unfortunately, we don't sync up well. Each one work in a different cycle. You can ask me, Shriram, still the companies are surviving, right? Yeah, surviving is different. Shining is different. How good you come out as a big team, that's very important, right? As if you put a scale goes higher, if you don't sync up with this team and each one handoff time is going higher and higher, the deliverable will not reach a customer smoothly. So to break down these silos, the art is really helping. In the art, they put all these guys together, right? They commit themselves. Hey, we are committed for what you're going to do. Of course, they'll be committed in other areas also. They're not going to be only in your train, right? There'll be other trains also. But still, they're given a word to you. They know what is your goal, what is the vision, what is the roadmap, what is a milestone, and they'll be part of your deliverables. So easy to move forward. I think that's one of the interesting factor, which is silo breaking up, right? This I see is a big factor. For example, if you see that teams here, you have a business, product management, hardware, software, quality, testing, compliance, security, everybody come together, that becomes an agile release train. Now the question comes from you, maybe, how could they will come and join, man? Just as an invite, they'll come? Yes. For this reason only, they're taking the leading safe course, which is helping the leadership level team to understand the benefit of keeping or breaking the silos and making the team together. So Scaled Agile community is expecting more of leaders, executives, managers like you who can learn these courses and understand the benefit of breaking the silos, bringing people together, right? And yes, there are a lot of commitment and a lot of Fortune 500 companies started adopting this and they started seeing results. The reason being is when you put everybody together and move towards a common goal, nobody can say no when a deliverable starts being demanding you, right? You have to do because you're committed for it. You cannot tell that I'm busy with something else because you're committed. You have to do that. So they make sure that everybody has an intention to get into the system, understand the system properly, and also give a go. And they say that more of employee engagement happens here. It's not a pressure. It's not a top-down approach. It's not a push command and control. It is the willingness of people to understand the system and work with the people. So that happens in the Agile release train. Okay, that's a little on this topic, and I'll go a little more down. I know it's a big page with a lot of information. I think I will cover this part, which you may like. Currently, the last 15, 20 years, we have a lot of agile teams working. I'm into agile corporate for more than 15 years. I believe you would have worked more than me. You know, a lot of agile teams working on the same project or same product and same solution which you want. But many times I've seen that team A, let's say this is a team A. Now, what will happen here, I'll tell you what's happening in the market. Now, what will happen is this is a team A who is working on some sort of solution or product as an outcome. There is a team B who is working on some solution or product outcome. Now, there is a dependency within these two guys. What will happen is particular team A will work on their own timeline of deliverables. Team B works on their own timeline of deliverables. Now, since they both the timeline doesn't match together, now a lot of dependency break starts happening. The integration does not happen properly. A synchronization does not happen properly. Now, what will happen is a team will be iterating, but the whole system will not iterate. For example, the whole system, what you see in the screen is a banking application or a shopping cart application. And everybody has to work towards and release it before Christmas. Now, when the teams are only iterating, what will happen is there'll be a lot of push and pull. One team will tell I'll complete next week, other team will tell I want this week itself. It will be a push and pull and emotional intelligence balance, everything starts happening. Only it will get collapse and problem. Now, to overcome that, what they say here is in a scaled agile, you're going to bring out a framework. By the way, I'm talking about the application system, which is bigger in size, right? Where when it's bigger in size, they bring out something very interesting pattern, what you see here. If you watch out here, here also the same team members, same common goal to be achieved. But now here, team is iterating. Along with that, the whole system is iterating. The reason being here is, if you watch out, you can see some lines here. The lines talks about that when the team is working, when the team A, let's say this is a team B, this is A and this is B, right? You both agree to a same timeline of iteration. If I start by Monday as an iteration, every team in this group will start Monday as an iteration, and we all move towards a common feature and common goal to be achieved. So I may have dependency with the B and B will have dependency with C, but I know that what dependency and when they're going to deliver it, I can predict their deliverables. I can predict an outcome. When you have a prediction happening, your results can move faster. In order to happen prediction smoothly, first of all, the team should understand the whole system. And this is what happens in PI planning, program increment, where everybody come and talk about the features and the design. That's good. Let's start together. Rather, you start another day, I start this day, it doesn't work out. So we start together, we start moving forward in the same direction together. That helps out. Is it going to be amazingly great from the day one? May not be. A lot of ups and downs will be there. A lot of feedbacks will be there. A lot of retrospective needed. But still, one thing can be very clear. The common mission is there. And we are all working on a proper synchronized, aligned way. And that's giving proper results. And they call us continuous integration. We do system demo. We do kind of continuous integration to see everything is moving smooth, right? And this one interesting factor I found very good happening when you go for a bigger team size. Okay, hope that helps you to get some idea. And to attain that, I mean, in Agile release train, one of the important factor we have to observe is DevOps is being highly utilized. Yeah, without DevOps or without automation, without having good technology, you may not achieve what we are talking here. Okay, we have good synchronization needed, good integration needed. How do you do that? You need proper DevOps and system. DevOps talks about culture, automation, lean flow, measurements, and recovery. It's a combination of things which makes you to move faster. When you see the Agile release train, we have 3 points to be covered. The 3 points talks about one is continuous exploration, continuous integration, continuous deployment, right? So continuous exploration talks about understanding the market and user needs. What actually need in the market, continuously explore it, right? Only when you do that with the customer, you get more details. They do Gemba work, they understand the customer needs, research will happen, and then goes to continuous integration, where you develop it, you test it, and you integrate it, and you properly make it ready in the staging environment. That is continuous integration. And continuous deployment, we make sure this is available in the production environment. That's a deployment. Now, one interesting factor here, you did a continuous exploration of understanding what customer is looking for. Second one, you went for continuous integration of developing, testing, and making ready in staging. Then third, we may say that continuous deployment, you deploy into production. Now, we start to deploy to production, which is readiness. But we will not release to the customer until there is a demand. When there is a demand, we will release it on demand. Now, what's the benefit here? The customer says that we want to launch this on a Good Friday timeline or on a sale day, we want to open it. But let's be ready in the production. When they say let's be ready in the production, you will say continuous deployment will help you to deploy the production and keep it off, switch off mode. It will be there, available. So you're making a customer so much free enough to tell that, fine guys, we are ready. We can switch on at any time. We don't want to do this in the last minute. I have seen this many happen in the last previous organization that I did some projects. We do the last minute. We will tell that, okay, Christmas launch, we will launch it by December 15th or 20th. Bug after bug, the fixing, it will take a long time, but if it's Christmas 25th, you don't go live, you are in trouble. Whereas you do prepare properly, you have a proper agenda with you, proper alignment with you, synchronization with you, be available a little early also, still the customer feels so energized. Okay, good, I have it. I have the power to do what I want to do, right? So this all happens in Agile release train. Of course, release train is one of the interesting concept, it's a depth concept, but just want to give you some clue heads up on that. Now, question can come from you. Hey, Shriram, you know what? You said train. How many trains can be there? If you see here, some value stream can be realized with a single art. Okay, I was talking about a shopping cart, maybe Amazon, a Flipkart shopping cart. This is some functionality could be achieved with one release train of 50 to 125 people can be achieved. Now the question comes, why 50 to 120 people? Can't we go beyond that? There is something called Dunbar rule. The Dunbar rule says that as a human, we cannot remember or have the more close connection with more than 100 to 200 people. And this stops somewhere 150 people. Beyond that, you can't remember or keep people in connection. So they try to keep it in a Dunbar rule. We stay with the principle of 50 to 125 people, plus or minus. Not beyond that, it becomes so huge. Instead of that, we can add more trains. For example, there is a banking application. Banking application is always so huge. You want to write this from the scratch, you'll have a lot of trains to run. You may have more than one trains collaborate together, right? And they call it as a solution train, where you have multiple trains join together and move towards a common goal or common mission. That's going to be called as a solution train, right? Okay, that's a little on Agile release train. By the way, you have any thoughts, probably you can share. If not, I'm just getting back to the slides to give some idea about the train. Okay, hope it gives some idea about what is Agile release train and a safe. In fact, some of the roles which you can see in Agile release train are, you will have product management, you have systems train, systems team will be there, you have release train engineers, you have business owners, system architects. Each one has his own role and responsibilities. Always there is a talk in the market, oh my God, Agile is coming in, we may lose the role. We may not have a project management role. We may lose the role of what I am currently now. Actually, it's not that way. The naming conventions have been changed, the responsibilities have been changed. You're finding new interesting roles are coming up. We talk about RTE, we talk about a Scrum Master, Advanced Scrum Master talking here. We are talking as a safe Agilist is coming up. A lot of roles playing there. It's giving a lot of advantage for the people with a good amount of experience and good amount of domain knowledge. They play a big role there, right? That's happening there. So that's a little on the roles in the Agile release train. By the way, any questions on the part before I go and explain what the certification goes towards? Okay, there is a message. Let me see that. Yep, yeah, Rajesh, leadership has a lot of role. Probably you can see the screen, what I'm sharing here. You have a lean portfolio management where you have the leadership team take a big role. In fact, the leading Agile or leading SAFE, which we talk about, SAFE Agilist, it purely targets towards the leadership track where they understand the concepts of LPM, I mean lead portfolio management. They are the one who is going to talk about how a strategy teams get set, a portfolio canvas is being done. They talk at a higher level of understanding how an organization can percolate down an epic to the level of features and stories. So leadership has a role where they can play, as I say, they're about a leading safe agilist. They can do a role, something called SPC. They call us program consultant. They call us safe program consultant. A person at the leadership level can take a role and lead the effort of organization. They call us a safe transformation. They do that. But when they come to art, in the art, what they do here is in art, in order to implement it, you have to go for the PI plannings. And definitely they have a role to talk about the vision, talk about the goals to be achieved. In fact, they'll be playing as RTE, release train engineers, right? Release train engineers are not easy, right? You have to do scrum of scrum meetings. They have to do a big picture role, RTE. But it again goes a little high. We have multiple arts. It becomes a solution trained engineer, right? STE, where they have to play a leadership role. When you say leadership, leadership is a common term, starts from the first level manager to the CEO level. So if you talk from the CEO level, you talk from strategies, teams, it goes out. And when you want to lead the team level, you'll talk about Scrum Master, right? Or Advanced Scrum Master, talk about RTE, STE, it goes up to the level, right? Hope that answers you. Okay, maybe you want to go specific, means you can tell me the role, what you're looking into. Rajesh is asking, I mean mid-manager and upper level. Yes, mid-manager, upper level, generally they map with RTE or STE roles. And somebody very specific on the business, they become a business owner, they become a product owner or a product manager. And somebody so good in a technology, they go to solution architect, solution engineers, system architect, system engineers, right? Every segment has it. When you say leadership, I will consider by the level from the team and above one more level, and above that it goes up to the toppest level. Hope that helps you, Rajesh. Okay, a few more points before we say it's good for SAFE. Now we have something called Leading SAFE. It's not the only certificate. We have a lot of certificates in market for Scaled Agile, but Leading SAFE is one of the certificate which has been highly recommended. The reason of it covers whole framework explanation. Along with that, it gives more empowerment to understand how to drive in your organization with the safe factors. For example, if you see the certificate, I made a red mark here. Who all can go for this? You can see that it starts from CEO, team leads, engineers, Agile coach, Scrum Master. So top to bottom, anybody can go for this. I think I understand this course all about it. And this course is becoming online now after the situation changed. Early days, it should be only classroom training. Now they made it as online training, which happens 2 days or 4 days of program. And how they go for the certification? They go for a certification like this, which is a 45 questions examination, which you'll go online at your home after the classes. For example, the class goes for 2 days, Saturday, Sunday. After the class, within the next 30 days, you have the eligibility to write the exam. Whenever you are enrolled for the course, it includes your class plus exam. Both is included in your training fee. Your training fee will cover both. And in 30 days, within 30 days, you have to write an exam. If you do that, you have to score 77% or 75 above, you clear your examination. Okay, Shriram, what if I don't write the exam in 30 days? Yeah, you have to go after 30 days where you have to pay some money to write the examination. Should be around $90 or $100 where you pay and go for the examination. And reattempt, they give some $50 where the people, in case of last exam, you go for reattempt, write the examination. But these exams are so good to write because mostly to be concept oriented. Once you listen to the classes for 2 days and read the framework in the website, more than enough, you can just clear the examination. This is one of the more interesting certificate in leader in the market. If not, some people go for a product owner certificate. It's a POS there, and we have some certificate for Safe Scrum Master. That's also interesting certificate. People like it. But if you see the market, the highest demand goes to Leading Safe certificate. Okay, that's pretty much on the part. Any specific questions to help you? If so, you can free to ask. Okay, good. So today what we covered, today we spent around 2 hours now. We have spent the Agile concepts, 2 areas we covered. One, we went to a PMI-ACP, where we spoke about stakeholder engagement, how we do the engagement factors. lot we covered on some techniques and methods, which is very common for Agile. And then under the same Agile umbrella, we came under another certification, which is called a Scaled Agile Framework, SAFe. Under SAFe, we took one topic, which is called as Agile Release Train. We understood what is the size of the train and what they do inside the train and who all can play a role out of it, what kind of value they have in the role, little bit on that. And also we understood about the cadence, synchronization, right? We saw PI planning, little bit information about we got about how a train look like and what a train will have inside that, right? And trains of train will become a solution train. That too, we got some idea, right? Okay, hope that helps you to understand little fact about Agile, as Agile is so big and a lot of frameworks on the market. A couple of frameworks are so interesting, which I'm trying to cover in these classes. And you can add more if you need more topics to be covered. Probably we can discuss about in the next classes where we have other Agile topics coming up, right? If no more questions, it's so happy to share knowledge with you. Thanks for listening for this session. We'll catch up soon on another program. Thanks a lot for joining. Thanks, Mehra. Thanks, for joining.